Hi travelers, Tara here. I told you guys I was going to bring you the 12 individual readings for the channel. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. I don't know if you can hear that I'm talking rather funny. The last time I don't know, spoke or sent out a newsletter and I let you guys know that I had some dental issues, and the whole situation was kind of weird the way that it happened. First, I lost my voice. This is a Mercury retrograde, right? So it always affects communications. And so in my case, in this instance, this time it was my mouth. That's what I communicate with. And so first I lost my voice, and then I started having trouble with that one crooked tooth that I had. The tooth was never crooked. It shifted itself some time ago. And finally it got to the point where I was like, okay, it's got to come out. So I did not know that I had dental benefits through the VA. I had been searching for the past couple of years. I've been wanting to get that tooth fixed and didn't think I had dental insurance. You call around, you know that having a tooth extracted can run you $800, right? Okay, got to get that done. But I thought, well, let me go ahead and buy myself some dental insurance and do it through the VA. And I kept clicking on the link, dental insurance, and it kept saying, you're already enrolled in VA health benefits. And I thought, well, that's weird. So I called down to the local VA office, and I was like, well, look, I said, I clicked around and I found this document. I said, and it tells me that I'm in class, whatever class it was, and that I qualified. And the guy goes, yeah, you qualify. And I thought, what the hell? And the reason why there was so confusion and I didn't realize it, when you receive disability ratings through the VA, you are told that you can only receive dental benefits if you are at 100%. And that's confusing, right? And what I have discovered is that, let's say, for instance, you're rated at a 30% disability, but you've got 100% pay, disability pay. Guess what? You qualify for VA dental benefits. I did not know that, and I've had them for 2 years. So anyway, to make a long story short, I called up to the VA clinic. I'm like, look, this tooth is shifted. I'm afraid it's going to break. And they're like, okay, well, we'll get you in to see a dentist. I mean, literally, like the next day, I went into the dentist. I get there thinking I'm going to have one tooth extracted, and the guy goes, no, you need 4 teeth extracted. I went, what? I have bone loss down at the bottom 4 teeth in the front. So now I look like reverse Dracula. I'm speaking with a lisp. I'm trying to keep saliva from falling out of my mouth. It's pitiful. So I got that day, he only did the one tooth, the crooked one, and then I had to go back yesterday and get the other 3 pulled. And I will say, if you are here in Corpus and the sound of my voice and you need dental work, please go see Dr. Jesus Gomez over on Saratoga, because he is awesome, okay? He's really good at what he does. Made it just zippity split and not a whole lot of pain. So I have the 4 teeth removed. I also have stitches. And so I won't be able to go into the VA until after August 3rd to get fitted for my partials. Oh my God, you guys, I have become my mom. So anyway, I'm going to just go ahead and bring you this message. And for the website members, what I want you to do is I'm going to bring you another open reading as well on the website. So I want you to email me. You can email me my email address. You can find it under the About Box section of my channel. For those of you who are interested, perhaps in readings, or you want to join, click the little eye up in that appears up here. That'll take you over to the website. You can read everything that you need to know. I know times are hard right now for people, so I'm going to do what I can to try to bring you as much information or solace or comfort or whatever the case may be that you may need at this particular point in time. But for the website members, I want you guys to email me and tell me exactly what you want to hear about, okay? And put it in the heading as open reading for the website. If you want to hear about romance, finances, career, just in general, and so whichever one of the subjects that I get the most emails about, that's what I'll do the reading about, okay? And so we'll do it like that. So my apologies to all of you here at the website channel who are waiting for those 12 videos. Oh my God. And additionally, I'm almost done with my one article. I will be, I'll be breaking it up into parts. I have been researching it since February of this year. And I finally got all of the information together, and now I'm just putting it together. So, look for that. Here within the next, I'm going to say 48 hours, okay? So I'm going to have to break it up into pieces. It's a long article. So, with that said, let's go ahead and put the 9 cards down. If this camera shuts off, I'll turn it right back on. I still haven't figured out why it keeps doing that. And so don't worry. So here we go. 9 cards down. 7 of Swords. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. 5 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles. I wonder if somebody has stolen something from you or finagled something from you. Eight of Cups. Wow. 10 of Cups. Isn't that interesting? And the Hierophant. So, 2 coins, 2 cups, a swords, and a major arcana thus far. 2 repeater numbers, the 5s. Here is the Knight. Wow. 7 of Cups. And a reverse 8 of Swords. Well, and that's the additional sword to make it the 8. Well, we know that Mercury is retrograde. He will be leaving retrograde status, I think, in a few days. You know, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I think by the 18th for certain. Over the top of the reading, we have the King of Swords. So, I'm not exactly sure if this is somebody that you are dealing with, in which case it will be perhaps an air sign male. So we're looking at a Gemini, I don't even know my signs, Libra and or an Aquarius. If not that, this may be someone who wears a uniform. So they could be a police officer, they can be a fireman, they can be a security guard, they can be, did I say police officer? Okay, military. If not that, then they are going to be somebody where who has a profession in which they use sharp tools. So this could be a dentist, a surgeon, a chef, a doctor. For other professions, it could be the idea that this is somebody who intellect plays a very, very large role in what they do. So they could be a scientist, a professor even. I have even seen him show up sometimes as just somebody who is really, really smart. Okay. Now, right in the center, I have this 10 of Cups. This is a changing energy. But the one thing that always stands out to me about the 10 of Cups, because you know that with every card, there is a light side and a dark side, a positive and a negative. And so while the 10 of Cups represents, first of all, it represents the energy of Mars and Pisces. And if I am not mistaken, we have a whole lot of Pisces energy going on. But we also have Mars, who will be moving soon into his ruling sign. He may be still in Pisces at the moment. Do know that when he enters the sign of Aries, he's going to be there for a very, very long time. And so this is when we're going to see a lot of things shifting and happening on the global scale, on the global level, okay? But the idea behind Mars and Pisces is this idea that you have the drive and the fortitude and the will to sacrifice whatever it is you got to sacrifice to get where you're going. See, this is everybody being happy because you've got everything that you want. The danger of that, however, is that it may be once you arrive at a particular place, you find out that what you ended up getting is really not what you want. Why? Those 10 cups are in a rainbow. Rainbows are illusory things, they don't really exist. So it could literally be chasing the rainbow, right? And getting there and discovering, oh hell, there ain't no pot, no, no gold at the end of the rainbow. So that's interesting to me that he sits in the center of the reading. I do get the sense for some of you that this was some kind of underhanded dealing. I don't always get that with the Seven of Swords. A lot of people like to look at that card being very negative, but I've seen the Seven of Swords show up sometimes when you are moving home. I have seen the Seven of Swords to show up when you haven't planned properly. You just kind of scattershot did some things. You didn't take your time and plan things out. You hurriedly, and you end up leaving something behind or not planning for other contingencies. So it's not always a negative thing, you know what I mean? But in this instance, I do get the sense that for some of you, it was really either like some kind of contractual issue that somebody double-crossed you on, they cut you out of. You recognize that after this occurs, there's really nothing left for you to do but to walk away from this particular situation, to find something else. And this is what you're going off for, this 10 of Cups. So past, present, future, interplay of the cards. This Five of Pentacles gives me the idea that you're feeling very bereft and in a sense kind of feeling sorry for yourself, but yet you are able to kind of land on your feet. Yeah? Maybe you're working 2 jobs at once. Maybe you're juggling 2 things at once. The bottom line is you're all at sea about whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you're just trying to keep things balanced. Okay? Whatever those things may be. The coins are not always necessarily about funds. To me, it's really what you are doing. So maybe you're doing 2 things and you're trying to, but you're really all at sea about it. What's interesting to me as well is that the 2s always represent some kind of choice. You're at a crossroads. There is a duality here. There can even be an opposition, someone being opposed to you. So we see here, for some of you, whatever that choice is, the choice is you have no other choice but to walk away from this thing. For some of you, this may have occurred, goes back to the July 5th eclipse, because this is the only eclipse moon in the deck. But it could also, and that was a solar eclipse, but we also had an eclipse previous to that on the summer solstice, which was a lunar eclipse. Okay? So for some of you, it goes back to the end of June, right? But also it could be something that has been triggered around the 5th of July. The message coming in, and you having to reverse course. Whatever this thing is as well, I think some of you, there's been a question put to you. Because we go from the 10 to the 7, that's 3 cups. And to me, this says that there's some kind of deal. Maybe some of you haven't been presented with this deal. Maybe some of you have and it went south. The rest of you, this may be a deal that's coming up. Sometimes he represents contractual issues. And you're trying to figure out what's the best way to deal with this. What's the best way to handle this? Because there's a lot of things you want. There's a lot of things to choose from. But it's really trying to figure out what is the correct thing, what is the real thing, and how do I achieve it or make that choice. Because sometimes this guy represents the sign of Taurus. Taurus rules your 2nd house. So your 2nd house is about your personal finances. This is not money that you get from a job. Like, let's say if you got a job and then you got a side hustle. So it's about the money you get from your side hustle. It is about the rent that you pay, the mortgage that you pay, the car note that you pay, your charity, your stocks, your bonds, your own personal 401k. This is not about monies that is given to you from a job or that you get through a partnership of some sort. But it also rules your values and your value systems. What is more important than money? Okay? What is more important than gold? And what will you sell your soul for, and what will you not sell your soul for? And I think for some of you, you are at this this is what this is. Now, this reverse Eight of Swords, in a sense, I kind of like to see the Eight of Swords reversed, because it says to me that all of those swords have the ability to fall away, right? You're still not trapped like you think you are, right? But you're feeling sorry for yourself and you think you don't have a choice. But as I tell you, you always have a choice. You just may not like what the two choices are. So you've got to figure out which of those choices is the lesser of the two evils. Okay? And even not making a choice is still a choice. And I tell you that the energy coming off of this tells me that the situation will not get any better by you not making a choice. Sometimes when you do that, you leave the situation open for either the universe to make a choice for you or other people to make a choice for you. And then the shit really is jank. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look to see if I can discover what any of these cards mean as they're related to the Hierophant card. I do have these two, so to speak, court cards here. But these always play out to me like events. Okay? It's a message or something coming in, some kind of news coming in that moves the situation along. Does that make any sense? Okay. So, I hope you guys can understand me. I'm doing my best to speak as clearly as I possibly can. Y'all quit laughing at me now. I hear some of y'all out there laughing at me. So, let's take a look at this Seven of Swords. It doesn't tell me anything as it relates to this particular but it says it may be indicating that dealings may be dishonest or not straightforward and direct. It brings a message to be particularly aware of all proceedings and remain cautious. This is for those of you who haven't gotten that message yet. For some of you, you're going to be getting one very, very soon. It carries a message that something that you lost will be returned to you, but then, you know, you may not want it. Okay? You may have a different outlook by then. It can suggest that your plans are not working out, so you need to look for an alternative. It is warning you that your plans will not work out at this time due to circumstances beyond your control, so look for alternative options and means. It tells of upset plans, postponements, delays, and cancellations. It is as though everything is going wrong at the moment. It also implies that someone around you is attempting to outsmart destiny and evade the consequences of their wrongdoings. It also implies that someone is spying or delving into issues that are not their business. It also warns you that if you are the one who's being shady and janky, you know, watch out, because you're going to be caught out, and this is going to have detrimental effects on all levels. Okay? Because it ain't always you know, other people that's doing this to you. Maybe you trying to do some underhanded stuff. So, all right, Five of Pentacles. Next to the Ten of Cups. It is indicating family, happy family times, celebrations and accolades, and rewards are ahead of you. It indicates good fortune to do with monetary gain and possibly even a win or an inheritance. Remember, I said there's going to be an offer put, but the offer itself is going to create a lot of confusion. It implies that good fortune is on the way with an influx of income or monetary gain in the offing. Okay? But this card is kind of... Two of Pentacles with any 5 before it. And I've got 2 5s here. It tells you that your energies are being scattered, leading to undue stress and confusion. Slow down, relax, think carefully about each step you take at this time, and allow things to flow as they will. Have faith. Remember I was telling you that sometimes this could be that you running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You know? So you need to slow down. Now, I'm going to read you the 2 5s. 2 5s always speak to new experiences ahead. That's why this is here, that 10. That's telling you that something, if not the family life, but the way you feel about maybe those familial ties and those good times is about to change. So I want you to keep that in mind. The other meaning of the 2 5s is constant bickering and backstabbing and ill will from others affect the relationship. Okay. That's what these 2 things are. Let's move to the 8 of Cups. And it's interesting to me that there's 2 cups here. You're walking away from whatever this is, but you pick up 2 cups when you do. But then there comes a point too where you lose 3 cups. But that's the offer. That's the deal. Either some of you having to walk away from something or something coming in that creates a whole lot of confusion. There is no meaning of the 8 of Cups next to the Hierophant. The 10 of Cups. The Hierophant. It is indicating that marriage plans will have a positive outcome. I don't know about that. Okay? I don't know. Now, the marriage plans may not necessarily be that you get married. This could be about a damn divorce. Okay? It all depends on how you look at it. Everybody has a different situation that requires a personal reading for me to look at that. The 7 of Cups tells me nothing. So now I'm going to look at this reversed 8 of Swords. And this is a funny card to me. It always is. Because the keywords are disquiet, difficulty, opposition, treachery, and hopelessness. Appearing reversed, it tells that you may be feeling weighed down by the confines of your situation and you are unable to see any reason to be hopeful at this time. You are encouraged to stay strong and attempt to fight for your liberty. It warns of mishaps and accidents both in and around the home as well as out on the road. So take extra special care and try to preempt other drivers' actions if you can, as the next 8 weeks are highlighted in this respect. It may be indicating that a new beginning or a new start can be made at this time. The timing is most conducive to taking leaps and bounds in the right direction. It may be indicating that pressure has been released and you are now ready to move forward. In quick time, you will be able to get on with more positive actions and there will be more freedom of thought and activity. It implies that one is being restrained or held back in certain areas of their life. It can suggest that an uncomfortable or unsavory situation is caused by familiarity. It is easier to stay in a familiar situation rather than to step out into the unknown, even if the unknown is more satisfactory. It indicates someone who is confused and disillusioned or emotionally hurt. Stress, worry, and tension are indicated, which does not allow for clear thinking or a positive attitude. Long-term restrictions, obstacles, and hindrances may be indicated when this appears reversed. It tells of struggle, loneliness, and wasted energies. You hear that again. It tells of pressures being released and a turning around of a situation. More freedom of thought and activity is available as there is a relaxation of all fears and tensions. It tells you that the way is now clear to forge ahead unhindered. Lastly, it tells of strong feelings of being cornered or fenced into a situation or being held back from your path. And this situation will hold you at a standstill for a short time. Things will not get any worse if some small but pertinent changes are initiated now to ensure positive developments in the future. In other words, you can keep dragging your feet, and either time itself, the universe will decide for you, or someone else will. So, whatever this thing is, you really need to get a handle on it, because for some of you, some things will be changing. The card I want to look at the most, let me take a look at the Seven of Swords and this Eight of Cups. Indeed. And then I'm going to look at the Hierophant, because there's something else about the Hierophant. The Hierophant can sometimes be a tricky card, because he is about being able to access the right information and disseminate that information out. But sometimes he can be a rigid, dogmatic person and wants you to do things exactly the way that he wants them done. There is no room for questioning and no room for, let's say, individuality, so to speak. That's the negative aspect of the Hierophant. Allegrezza al cuore, the letter, and the Superbia. Now, the Allegrezza al cuore represents all happy events, marriages, whatnot, but it can also be things having to do with business. It speaks to celebration and happy times. We see the letter coming in, and the letter is just that. This is telling you that there's some news that has either come in or will be coming in. It does not say whether the news is good or bad or exactly when it's going to come. It could be within a week or so. The faster card would be the Messaggere. And then we have here the Superbia. The Superbia is actually one of two of the luckiest cards in the Sibilla deck. And my mind just kind of went blank in terms of what it actually means. So bear with me. I might be able to find the book. But if I'm not mistaken, it also is an indication of, what do you call it? Good news, positive things coming in. I can't find the book, but I would always, for me, this card always represents the male of the species, because the male peacock is actually more, what do you call it, colorful than the female. It also represents to me the asteroid Juno, the wife of Jupiter. The thing about Juno is Jupiter cheated on her. He had kids out of wedlock. He did whatever. He was a big philanderer. She complained. She sought revenge on all of his lovers. She tried to kill some of his kids, but she never left him. Why? Because she liked the idea of being the queen of heaven. She liked the perks that went along with being the wife of Jupiter, the king of the gods. So, okay. So, let's take a look at this Eight of Cups here. What is this telling me? The reverse pensiero, the leggerezza or the carefree card, and the riunione. Oh my God, I need my book. These cards are talking. Just give me a minute. Where is my book? Oh, holy moly. Holy moly, holy moly, holy moly. Holy moly. I'm going to tell you what I think the cards are saying. What I think the cards are saying. Ah, here we go. In this spread. Typically, this card is about thinking and deep thought. It's also about your inner feelings about something. So reversed, I'm not exactly sure what the cards are trying to tell me. I think it's yeah, it's a diamonds card. So let me see what they're trying to tell me reversed. It confirms that someone's intentions are not good, and it indicates someone who is plotting to cause you harm or to deceive. Now, this could even be you. Remember, I was saying that. It describes serious doubts, indecisions, or a person with a contorted mind. It describes someone suffering from great inner turmoil who cannot think straight and possibly may even have a history of pathological illness with the persecution mania. It indicates a wrong attitude, a wrong way of thinking, and of being misguided. It represents coming to the wrong conclusion about something or someone, a mistake in an evaluation or a calculation. It is the card of illusory dreams, false hopes, and paranoia and conspiracy theories. In love, it represents unrealistic expectations, unfulfilled passion, unrequited love, or worse, it indicates bad intentions towards you or you having bad intentions towards somebody else. Usually it means that you or the partner wants to be unfaithful and is scheming to hurt the other. Okay? It is the card of complete obtuseness with consequent stubbornness and an unwillingness to change. Now, what's interesting is it shows up with this card. This is a carefree card. It is the Ten of Wands. And I'm going to read this card to you because it's kind of the same thing, but in a different way. Okay. Here it is. This card indicates that the event will not be as significant as it would have been had this card not shown up. Near positive cards, and this one's kind of positive. It indicates a small gain or a brief period of happiness, but it can also indicate a small setback or an inconsequential delay. The main meaning of this card, well, let me say, in financial matters, it indicates short-lived investments that are unlikely, that are ultimately destined to plummet, spending money like water, and the chronic inability to accumulate savings. It indicates activities that go bust due to, again, a miscalculation or lack of proper planning. It indicates a slight improvement, but in love, it indicates inconsistency, a lack of commitment, sleeping around, and an affair. The main important meaning of this card is in relation to the idea of recklessness, impulsiveness, and careless mistakes that will cause you much grief in the future. This could even be possibly in the form of lawsuits for things like negligence, recklessness, and danger driving. Now here's this. You're going to have to meet somebody. This is the meeting, the reunion. And basically it can be any kind of meeting, any kind of reunion. It could be networking. It could be a job interview. It could be going, meeting people in a social setting. Okay? So we see that there's some, you're not thinking clearly whatever this is. You're definitely going to have, there's definitely going to be some kind of news coming where you're going to have to meet with someone. This is a partnership issue. Whether this is a joining forces with someone or breaking up with someone, okay? This is definitely a partnership issue. Lastly, we're going to look at the Hierophant. Maybe you backed out of this because you had a funny feeling about it, in which case, maybe you did the right thing. And in short time, you're going to end up seeing, you may be confused about it now or doubting yourself about it, but ultimately it's going to turn out okay for you. Okay, so you're going to have to, right now, try to find a way to turn around the way that you're thinking. Vecchia Signora. Ha. Desiderato. And the Lamante female. Now, what's interesting is this guy is this guy. Okay? someone who's very sharp, very shrewd. Sometimes in this card shows up, it's the idea that has either just had a conversation with someone or he's waiting for someone to come in that he can have a conversation with. But the person is detached, aloof, not very warm, not very inviting. When the Vecchia Signora shows up, she can be kind of confusing. Typically, it will represent the idea of an older relative. So this could be an aunt or grandmother or an old family friend, so to speak. But the way she's coming across now, it's speaking about things that are kind of not necessarily set in stone, but it represents the idea of tradition, of things not changing, of not wanting that dogmatic kind of an issue. Okay? If this is a romantic relationship, this speaks to the idea that the relationship, in a sense, has kind of stagnated. It hasn't moved. And it will not, because things are not going to change. Now, here is the Lamante. I don't know why she has come out. But basically, she represents a good person. Or it can just say that this is going to be a highly emotional time for you. That's what it says. So, I don't know, based upon the cards, whether this is about you and the situation or that third party has presented itself. Okay? So what I'm going to do, either way, whatever this is about, it's telling you that there's definitely going to be some kind of news, communication. There might even be this idea of some kind of contractual issue that is put forth. Either you're going to have to walk away from something and someone new is going to try to come in, right? Or, I don't know, maybe you might even be the third party. You know? It's hard to say. So, formulate your question for the Golden Nostradamus. I hope you've been able to understand me. Here we go. Maybe he can see something that we can't see. He was the greatest seer in the world. It is the tree, number 22. Now that's interesting. Because it says, if you cannot have what you want, then settle for what you can. The stability of the tree advises caution. It is not the right time to change or take risks. Save your energy and seek stability in mind and body. And I think the reason why that card comes up is because there's been many instances of the card saying that things are not going to plan, or you're not planning right, or you're not thinking carefully. You're feeling hemmed in, pinned in, like you don't have choices. Maybe somebody's not being truthful with you. Maybe you're not being truthful with somebody else. But it also speaks to the idea of carelessness and recklessness. And so I guess what the tree is trying to say is those two choices. It may not be, you may have two choices where neither one of them is exactly what you want. They're not the most optimum, but you're going to have to pick the one that mitigates the situation, does the least damage, and that you can live with. And so that's what I'm picking up. I hope that message helped you. And until next time, namaste. Oh my God, I'm laughing at myself because it's so funny. Where'd my $1 billion mouse go to? Here it is.